Hey folks, it's Mike Ryan, and if you're watching our show, you've probably known your boy has undergone a little bit of a body transformation, and I gotta tell you, Peloton has helped me on my fitness journey. It got the ball rolling for me because I watch my wife on the Peloton. She takes all these great classes. She has her favorite instructors. I listen to the music. I'm a big music guy. It gets me fired up, makes me want to take part in this fitness phenomenon known as Peloton. Peloton offers a variety of challenging classes, from 4-week strength building classes to running, cycling, and everything in between. Peloton will help you achieve your goals, and maybe you'll have some fun along the way. I know I have. It's backed by thousands of members whose lives have been changed. Be part of that group. Telling you, I'm better for it. Have it in my office. Sometimes I can put on the baseball game. Sometimes I can put on a soccer match. Some other times I'm totally locked in on an emo playlist. Find your push. Find your power with Peloton at onepeloton.com. Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
Award-winning Pablo Torre is going to join us here in a moment to elevate some of the things going on around here with his highfalutenness and to talk NBA playoffs, because I'm hoping he got sucked into the fun this weekend. He may be too busy doing other things to dabble in basketball because he's doing journalistic things, important things in the world. But before we get to Pablo, Zaslow, what is the issue? I feel like Mike Ryan and Chris Cody, peers of yours, guys you grew up with, you guys were all doing the same jobs at the same time. I feel like they feel judged by you, and there's some judgment in general going on around here about WrestleMania nerds.
Well, okay, they feel that I'm judging them. What? Like, what's their thought?
I don't know what's happening here around the WrestleMania. I think you're a passionate WrestleMania person, are you not?
Love pro wrestling, yes. I had a great weekend. It was WrestleMania weekend in the Zaslow Mansion. We all got together, all the Zaslow men, and we watched a lot of pro wrestling. How am I judging you?
Forgive me, I misunderstood the nature of the argument. Was there not somebody here who...
I'm judging them. They're nerds.
Okay,
I mean, get over it. Seriously.
Forgive me.
It's not real. I mean...
Really? That's what we're doing in the year 2025? That's what we're doing? It's not... Like, do you think you just educated someone by telling us it's...
Listen to me.
Whoa, it's not real?
Listen to me. If it's down the street from your house and you like wrestling, go to a wrestling event. You don't fly to Vegas for WrestleMania. Why? That's not what you do.
No, I mean, I didn't, but why?
It's fake. That's why.
What? Yes, okay, everybody knows
now wrestling fans feel like they are experiencing something differently than we're experiencing it. No, we're not.
Can you answer me something? What is fake? What's the definition? What's fake? What's fake?
Them. Wrestling.
No, but okay, it's a show.
It's a show
right.
that you don't travel to Vegas for.
All right, but you go to Dead & Company, that's a show.
Yeah, but that's the only place they play. It's the only place I can go. Wrestling, they have wrestling events all over the country. If they have one down the street, go to it.
But this is the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Yeah.
That's the response?
Yeah. What WrestleMania is this?
41.
41. And it's the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, when you watch the Super Bowl, you feel like you're watching a real people collide, real physicality, real results, right?
Right.
With wrestling, it's rigged.
Yeah, I understand. It's a show, though. Yeah, I get to watch my show
it's a bad show.
Person. It's a bad show. They're like the greatest athletes in the world. There's no second takes, third takes. They do everything in one take. They're doing it all right in front of you. They're acting and performing incredible athletic feats right in front of you, live. No do-overs.
Wrestling is basically Broadway for dudes who won't admit that they like theater, right? Because, I mean, it's a stage show with a bunch of acting and physical performances and storylines that you know how they're probably going to end up. But if you've never seen that stage production, then you don't know how it's going to go.
Here's
so it's seeing a new Broadway show, right?
Here's my big problem, all right? Why is it, and this is you now, Stugatz, you're the guy. Why is it you feel the need to tell other grown-ups like myself, now I wasn't there, but Mike Ryan was there, other grown-ups, why are you critical of other grown-ups enjoying something?
That's what I do.
Because that's what, but you're not the only one. Like, you're that representation here right now in front of me, but you're not the only one. Oh, you watch wrestling, you go to wrestling, you're an adult. Why can't you turn on WrestleMania this weekend? There were 60,000 people in attendance each night having a great time. What's wrong with people having a great time?
60,000 dorks. I mean, seriously.
It is odd that there's like a post-game press conference for a match that was predetermined.
My son was asking me last night, we were watching the post-press conferences, and he's like, are these real media people, real reporters?
There you go.
I said, yeah. Right. I go, I could get a credit. I could do that if I want. He goes, but they tell you what to ask, right? I go, no, ask whatever you want.
I'm a smart kid.
Post-game presser for Jack Kelly and Newsies.
Pablo, you had trouble taking your glasses off there. I'm familiar with that particular fight through the headphones. What are your thoughts here as we bring you in as a skirmish breaks out between Zaslow and Stugatz about whether or not wrestling is fake?
Just realized that I've been shown this entire time struggling to both keep my glasses on and off and keep pace with whatever we're arguing about. Mike Schur's there, or was there. Mike Schur also went. I think Mike Ryan and Mike Schur both went to Vegas for this thing. The coalition of wrestling fans always surprises me as someone who wasn't one of them. I didn't know there were post-game pressers. I didn't know that was a thing. That's a thing? I've never seen a wrestler behind a microphone.
Chris Cody thought the coalition there was unnecessary. I'm just telling you, Pablo.
Coalition of wrestling fans.
Pablo, here's what's happened. You floated.
Like a 6th grade word.
You're 6th grade.
Pablo, you have floated off into left field, MSNBC land. You have no connection anymore.
This coalition of wrestling fans.
So, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is coalition a 6th grade word at Le Batard Show? Yes, I think it is. I think you might be right here. Yeah. I think you might get it dead on, and we're the idiots here.
I do like Chris, though, saying your 6th grade, which is a 5th grade reference.
Can we get, please, the sound and video of Mina Kimes on Celebrity Jeopardy? Because Pablo's most recent episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out is deep dive into, I don't believe there is another podcast anywhere in the space dominating game show talk the way that Pablo Torre is. Katie Nolan, Mina Kimes, and Pablo have all had like these amazing game show moments, all funny for different reasons.
In defense of Pablo, coalition is a 6th grade word.
That's just Chris Cody. We're trying to dumb it down for our executive producer.
I don't believe that.
And there you go. And that's exactly.
How do you know what words are 6th grade, by the way?
That's how arguments. That is how arguments go now.
You go to 6thgrade.com. You'll see all the words.
Presented with alternate information. The person who was just told that it's a 6th grade word says, "I don't believe that." End of discussion. Case closed. Chris Cody wins the argument. America loses.
6thgrade.com, though. We should squat on that URL. This is a business here.
Let's just play for Pablo here. Mina Kimes. I don't recognize her, and I felt like this was extraordinary confidence to see from someone, Pablo, who I remember didn't know how to put on a headset on television. Her failing on a game show and leaning into it this way is crazy to me.
And you don't have to kick yourself, I think, because the way it worked out with Dave being the only one who knew final.
Listen, yeah, I would have been more mad if I had done the math wrong. And once I was like, all right, because that would have just been embarrassing. But, yeah.
Well, you made small wagers on who you ended up knowing on Nero, and then
scared money don't make money.
I just can't believe that.
The greatest.
I still can't believe it.
Which is better, the lean or the eyes at the very end?
The lean.
The most confident Mina was in her entire Celebrity Jeopardy semifinal was when she gave that post-game press conference answer to Ken Jennings about how unconfident she was in her strategy for daily doubles.
I have not seen how Pablo cut this up, but I assure you, I'm urging everyone in our audience to go see Pablo Torre Finds Out, or just listen to it if you don't want to see it, because I don't believe we've ever been able to laugh at Mina like that. And the circumstances of her doing math wrong or feeling like she kicked a field goal and was a chicken in a big situation. Like, you couldn't have written it in fiction better to go funnier if you and I were writing it.
No, beyond the fact that Dan ended up being able to have this weapon to just beat Mina over the head with in the post-game presser that we staged for her, was the fact that Mina, of course, could not do the thing. And this is her own self-awareness in the episode that Dan's referencing. She realizes that after a career spent telling NFL coaches to go for it on 4th down, she punted. She just repeatedly punted throughout the game and didn't realize it until this taping we did, in which she had to reckon with how unbelievably cosmically cursed it is to be her on NFL Live and her in this episode of Celebrity Jeopardy. It is remarkable, and you cannot script it. It's true.
Let's talk about the NBA from the weekend. Which of the things did you find most interesting if you had to choose only one?
The Nuggets being the Clippers. I think that the whole experiment with we're going to fire our head coach, fire our GM, leave it in the hands of Nikola Jokic, whose on-off numbers are incredible, has made me more intrigued by this team than any one other team in this postseason, because all I want to do is you put a little box of me in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I just want a little box with Mike Malone in it during these games. What's it like to be him?
That's good television.
What's it like to be him?
I'd watch this. Let me ask you about the end of that game.
I want a box of Nico watching Laker games.
Okay, this is good stuff. Yes, basketball should evolve into that as a narrative-based sport that loves the stories and the drama. You're absolutely right. That's the next evolution. But walk me through the end of regulation, Nuggets, Clippers. If you guys did not see this, the way they guarded Westbrook was crazy. On average, 9.6 feet away from him. Go ahead. You're the worst three-point shooter in the history of the league. You're aging poorly. Shoot all the threes you want. We're going to respect you less than Tony Allen, than anybody. 10 feet off him. End of the game situation. Stukat, what are the Nuggets going to do? Well, obviously, it's going to be Jokic and Murray. Jokic and Murray. Oh, no, Westbrook has the ball. Oh, no, oh, my God, throw it off someone's foot. Out of bounds. Nuggets win anyway. Headlines. Westbrook attack mode wins for the Nuggets. And I'm like, not.
Almost lost it for the Nuggets.
One game maybe because you got the best player anyone's ever seen on earth, but you will not beat them 4 times that way. So your thoughts there, Pablo, because Westbrook mode at the end of games is an insanity.
Well, this is why I want Mike Malone in the little box. I want the Mike Malone cast, because part of the reason he got fired, we were told, was because he played Russell Westbrook in the 4th quarter too much. Mike Malone was watching the reason he got fired result in a headline that praised the team that he got fired from coaching for doing the thing they did, only to win a playoff game in overtime. It's incredible. The Russell Westbrook thing. I mean, man, two things are true, and this is always true about Russell Westbrook. He is the guy who will dribble the ball off of his foot or whatever into Zubac's arms at the end of regulation, and he'll also be the guy that will make you think, oh my God, this is Russell Westbrook aggression mode. And yes, he has so much more left in the tank than you think. But also, what a nightmare. What a nightmare to just watch someone else get praise for the thing you got fired for doing. It is remarkable.
So, yes, we all saw that apparently it was a big point of contention that Malone would play Westbrook too much. He would play him in the 4th quarter. But don't we now have to question the validity to that if in the first playoff game of the season, the interim coach plays him the whole 4th quarter?
34 minutes.
Wouldn't you be doing the opposite? Because, you kind of want to get the job next year and not do the thing that apparently got Mike Malone fired, right?
I mean, it's a good question. If the GM had not also gotten fired. I don't even know what's happening over there. I don't know who's in charge. I genuinely have no idea. I don't know who they're supposed to please. I think we're supposed to realize that Russell Westbrook in the 4th quarter bad until it was good in this playoff game, I guess, because they won. And also in terms of who's running the team, Zaz, I don't know. We're also running that experiment. Who's your boss? I don't really know. I guess Jokic is, or Jokic's brother is at this point. Sure. Or his agent is, which we've also heard. It's very, very confusing.
Juju, put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Did you have a friend today who was too eager to tell you the Pope had died? At Le Batard Show. And also, I don't think that we should move too far past the fact ever when talking about Jokic that his brothers are much bigger than he is. I just want to put that out there. They're going to make a return at some point during this postseason, I assure you. Please do not take your eye off the ball. James Harden is saying, yes, I'd prefer Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for MVP. But we all know, of course, the best player in the world is that guy over there. That guy we're all on board with. Yes, of course, he's the number one.
Because of the Netflix show, the top 5 where they go around starting 5 or whatever, my wife was introduced to Jokic. She's like, oh, so he doesn't care about basketball, but he's the best player. I'm like, yes. And then she started learning, started watching the games this season. And then I showed her a picture of the brother. And I was like, that guy's his brother. And she's like, no, there's no way. That's enhanced, right? He's made bigger on purpose on Photoshop.
He looks like Kingpin.
I'm like, no, he's like 3 times bigger than Jokic is. And Jokic is 7 feet tall and 290 pounds.
Yeah, he looks a bit like a Greco-Roman wrestler who also was in the world's strongest man competition, throwing kegs of beer over a wall. Yes.
Jokic's brother makes Jokic look like Yao made Shaq look. Like you need just that level
It just doesn't make sense.
To appreciate.
I'm telling you, it visually does not make sense. If you're someone who does not know and has no sense of proportion, and I didn't tell you, one of these people is the best basketball player in the world right now. He's the small one. People would say, well, he's 6 foot and quick, right? Or he's 5. Jokic is 5. He's 5'10". He's a point guard, right? No.
Have you guys seen that photo of Tiny Jeff Passan from that set? He was on a baseball. He was on set doing some ESPN baseball broadcast, and he looks tiny. You guys know what I'm talking about?
We have our own version. We have our own version of Amin doing one of those, and we have Billy and Stugat sitting with Derrick Henry as well.
Oh, right.
Where we play with the proportions of people. I wanted to ask you about something that happened during the Celtics game yesterday, where Tatum goes down. Mazzulla says to the trainer, "Don't go out there," and Tatum is writhing around, and Mazzulla's just like, "Get up." What is that?
It's playoff time.
No, but it's playoff time. But I also got Tony coming in here tonight saying, hey, is Derek White better than Jaylen Brown?
Is he?
Joe Mazzulla is, I don't want to diagnose anybody from afar, but he has something in his brain, circuitry-wise, that is just very different. And the only thing I can compare it to is that there is a group of guys in sports, we did an episode about this actually, who all have tattoos of the Joker on their body, not Jokic, obviously, but like the Joker from The Dark Knight. And Joe Mazzulla is one of these guys who idolizes that sort of a character, which is to say there are people who see being a sociopath as being virtuous and like good strategy. And that is an incredible photo of Billy next to Derek.
That has to be one of the funniest.
Jesus Christ. It's like a Polly Pocket.
It's a running back.
I thought that's what you were thinking of. That Derrick Henry is Trump's size and weight.
Oh my
photo
God.
has to be doctored. Like that is
No,
so ridiculous.
Billy did that on purpose. The reason he put his chair down that low. So look, do you guys understand that every single person who meets me thinks I'm 5'9" because my chair was down to sit next to my father? So, like, Billy just moved his chair down.
Well, Dan is right. Billy came up with the idea to move both our chairs down and keep Derrick Henry's at the same height. And so
history is not going to know that context, and that was a terrible decision by Billy Gill.
He is, Derrick Henry is, he was listed last week by us at 6'3", 245 pounds, I believe. So, but Pablo, when it comes to what it is that you were watching, you were talking about Mazzulla, because this is a really unusual coach. Stugatz, look, can we just stop for a second and find it really weird that a young guy we were making fun of that was about, a second or two from being fired as a laughingstock from the Celtics because he managed to lose to the Heat.
8 seed.
Now is a champion, and not just a champion, but he's a champion who behaves in like really unusual ways, and really young, and I think empirically strange. Like, what is it?
Incredibly strange.
I think
like,
the whole Celtic thing is strange. The reaction to them winning, people not taking them seriously, people not talking about
Missoula,
Jason Tatum.
Look, but in that town, when you're young, brilliant wizard, you get to be Theo Epstein. You get to be brilliant for all time. Are we saying that this is brilliant for all time, or are we saying this is circuitry that we don't understand and, well, he's winning, so therefore he's our back?
I'm saying that he forced Jason Tatum to watch The Dark Knight with him and to focus on Heath Ledger's The Joker for inspiration. I just think there's a type of guy, and Missoula might even be just weirder than even this one data point, but there's a type of guy who isn't just like, wow, this guy's a really hardcore, like, you know, high energy, or not even high energy, just all-consuming coach guy. He's the guy who thinks Heath Ledger's Joker is a hero. I don't know how often I can just keep repeating this, but that's literally insane. You're idolizing an insane person, which would make me think that you are also an insane person, just by the laws of, you know, logic.
But if you win, we'll assign winner to you. It doesn't matter how strange you... Phil Jackson was strange. He won a lot. Belichick, strange, won a lot.
Oh, no, but what... No, wait a minute, though. What we won't do, though, if you give us totally strange and we almost fired you, because we all remember that this was very close to not being allowed to go even one more season. It wouldn't have been... If the Celtics had indeed fired him, no one would have been surprised. No one. And to go from that to, oh, they won the championship easily, and he's super unusual, and they're young and good enough that that's, you know, a team that can obviously knock off OKC because they've been there before and OKC has it. And then you've got a two-time champion on your hands, and we don't get to reverse engineer this. Belichick, we saw become a genius. Like, we saw it happen. We watched it. Theo Epstein saw it, watched it. Young, strange person doesn't get to be eternal genius. We saw the formative years. We saw too much at the beginning. No? Do I have it wrong?
I think, look, Missoula as a coaching prospect, what Stugotz is saying is fundamentally, like, directionally correct, which is that at a certain point, if you're going to be the guy who's winning all of these titles and being in the conference finals and the finals every single year, we're going to just not think too deeply about the fact that, yes, you watch the town like 4 times a day or whatever it is, that you have these press conferences where you don't seem to exist on the same, like, emotional, psychological wavelength as anybody else. It's ends justify the means, which I guess in that case is exactly the lesson of the Joker.
Does that mean I'm right? I mean, fundamentally, directionally.
The reason I want to
say I'm right.
Before I move to Lakers,
you're in the direction of right. I wouldn't say you're necessarily
fundamentally.
It's a coalition of people who are directionally.
Sure. Yes.
You're pointed toward it. But before I get to the Lakers portion of this, when it comes to the Celtics, I do think it becomes hard to make some of the appraisals because the starting point is all of these people seem to be better than I thought they were. All of them. Like, it's across the roster, coaching, so I would have to concede I'm wrong about everything I thought, and if I'm wrong about everything I thought, where do I put the credit? I know, the strange coach who's at the front of all of it, and I saw it when it wasn't every guy is better than all the others, that it needed to get rid of Marcus Smart and add a 7'3" Lego person to it, and now every bit of them is better than any of us thought they were. And so the appraisal becomes, you can begrudgingly say, holy shit, they beat the respect out of me. I was wrong.
But the thing about, I mean, it goes back to the Mike Malone and the little box thing, though. Like, we're testing actively what it means to not have a coach during a playoff run, effectively. And you're right, Dan, like, there is no real good statistic. There's no good analytics for coaches because they exist in the realm of motivation, because they exist in the realm of, hey, watch this movie scene, this is going to inspire you, because they exist in the realm of, like, press conference theater. And so, yes, it's very easy to ascribe everything we can't calculate to them, except for when, in the case of Denver, like, they're basically saying, we don't really need this. And now you give it to Westbrook, which is how it is that the NBA is both a league of math and the opposite at the same time.
Mike Malone cam is such a good idea. What other cams like that could I give you for the playoffs that you guys
Nico cam.
That's number one.
that
Nico's
would enjoy?
number one.
Yeah, but Mike Malone cam is really good. Like Taylor Jenkins is enjoying the holy hell out of yesterday, right?
No one wants a Taylor Jenkins cam.
No,
We can agree.
But
there.
I'm saying just him like up him just celebrating them down by 50.
Well, do you think he sits there and watches the game at home? Or does he just check his phone, checks the box score?
But even that's funny if he's just sort of walking around, if he's at like a bar mitzvah and he's just sort of checking his phone or
How about Riley during Warrior games?
Oh man,
that's a good cam too.
That might be second best.
That's a good
really
cam.
good.
That's a good
I just
cam
like the
right
idea of Taylor Jenkins being out at a bar mitzvah or an event and he just rolls up on someone into the third quarter and Grizzlies are down by 50. See who score the game.
Do I have this wrong? I
Down
know
53.
I snuck it in there. Did you guys have any friends who were a little too eager to tell you today that the Pope had died overnight?
A lot of them Jewish. I don't know what that's supposed to
Tony
mean.
got on me today.
No.
So Ethan comes in, Jeremy and Zaz are like, hey, the Pope died. I'm like, okay.
Mike, the Pope died. Hey, look, man, it's the news. When J.D. Vance kills the Pope, you got to tell someone about it.
Wait, didn't Peter King do this with Robin Williams? You guys remember that story? Peter King wrote that column where he talked about how he told a restaurant host that Robin Williams had died. This was like the lead of his column, and took like very strange pleasure in telling him that Robin Williams had died in a particularly unfortunate way. How am I the only one who remembers this?
You're alone now on an island. You're going to have to swim us to safety.
That and the Bassett photo.
All right, let's everyone jump on his back. We'll help you as much as we can, but you're unprepared for what it is that you're presently doing.
Hey,
if you have a story, we'll play with you, but you're going to have to find the details.
I got it. Get off me. All right, before I drown. All right, here we go. Milwaukee, -- asked restaurant host, God, did you hear about Robin Williams? ? Host, no. Me, died. He killed himself. End quote. Thought he would cry. At @SI_Peter King, August 12th, 2014.
What?
Yep.
Different time.
I'm the only one who remembers Peter King. Okay, very good. Just going to return to the bottom of the ocean now. See you guys later.
The King's disease.
Gout!
Hey guys, it's Lucy, and I'm about to tell you about the most incredible, unforgettable gift you can get mom this Mother's Day. Have you ever heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site that I order from all the time, where you can get the most iconic, famous foods from restaurants all across the US, and they will ship it anywhere across the country for free in time for Mother's Day. Goldbelly will ship gift-worthy cakes from Ina Garten and Martha Stewart, Magnolia Bakery's famous banana pudding, New York bagel brunch directly from the city, or even authentic Chicago deep dish pizza. So whether your mom would love something sweet from one of the country's best bakeries or meals from world-famous chefs, Goldbelly has you covered. It's a super simple process, and the packaging is so cute that I used it for my scrapbook. So, if you are looking to make Mother's Day perfect or want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal next time you host, go to goldbelly.com and get free shipping and 20% off your first order with promo code GBF. That's goldbelly.com, code GBF for free shipping and 20% off your first order.
Folks, the time has come to get some new golf clubs, and that means one thing: heading over to my local PXG store for a fitting. They make the best golf clubs. I'm telling you guys, I went there, in and out, efficient, the nicest staff. If you need to improve your golf game, if you want to scratch strokes off your score, go to PXG, get a fitting. Instantly, the irons fit so perfectly. You get fitted. It's quick. As soon as I got home with my clubs, I go to the range. I'm telling you, I gave away my old clubs. PXG is where it's at, guys. If you need to change your golf game, the fastest way to improve your performance on the golf course is PXG Fitting. The PXG fitters are highly trained, incredibly experienced, and have a deep understanding of how to optimize your clubs to get the most out of your swing. Their fittings, they're educational, they're fun. Schedule your fitting today, and for a limited time, you can save up to 20% off your entire order. Head to pxg.com/Dan. That's pxg.com/Dan to save up to 20% on your entire order. pxg.com/Dan. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Howdy, folks. It's Mike Ryan here to remind you that Game Time is the official ticketing partner of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz. As you know, I talk about Game Time plenty on the show because I use it plenty. And the weather is warming up. It is a perfect time to take family or friends, a whole lot of folks, take them to a ball game. But before you do, why don't you check out the Game Time app? Why? Because Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. What if you're one of those fans that likes to travel the nation and go to all these different ballparks? Sometimes you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You're not familiar. Well, those panoramic seat views on the app, they certainly help, almost as much as that all-in pricing tab, to make sure there are no surprises at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Dan Le Batard.
I think I would have been on his side. I would have looked at you like, what did you say?
I'm telling you, me and my friend, the rest of the way home, all we kept saying was, I ain't cheating.
Stugats.
It's like,
I
why'd
think
you
he
say
got
that?
your ass. I think he got your ass.
I got his ass.
Chris won this one for sure. Not pathetic.
Your ally, Jeremy.
It was great.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats.
Let me grab the steering wheel here. We were just talking about yesterday was a big holiday. A lot of people were celebrating 420. And so now we're going to celebrate 420 with our friends at Jimmy John's. This 420 segment with Pablo is sponsored by Jimmy John's. They're finally here and they're hot. Try the new toasted sandwiches at Jimmy John's. Order one today.
This looks really good.
I got a couple questions for Pablo. I know he's got a top 5. We'll start with a lot of people do this in golf. Your ideal foursome for a golf. Give me your ideal rotation, Pablo. You and 3 other people. Your dream.
My mouth is watering.
Living or dead?
Mine too.
That can be alive or dead.
Oh, I mean, Bill Walton, number 1, obviously.
Solid.
Good one.
Can I draft 4 Bill Waltons?
Nope, you get 1 Bill Walton.
You can have Luke.
All right. I don't know if I want Luke. Speaking of
these sandwiches are so
coaches
good.
that I'm not sure.
Very
good.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
It is a good sandwich. And we can be snobs in Miami about our sandwiches.
Yeah. Who's the next one after Walton?
Yeah, this is cruel. I'm going to stay with UCLA. I'm going to go Kareem. Kareem's a stoner, guys. He does. He's on the record.
And finally?
He's on the record.
Did you see? Did it make you as sad at all seeing him show up to the tribute for Jackie Robinson? A giant wheelchair, so difficult to move around. People that size, it's kind of stunning to see him still moving around at that size.
Verging a bit on the Peter King vibes with that comment, Dan. We're trying to have a fun power ranking of guys I want to smoke weed with, and he brought it to a real dark place.
That's what he does.
It's the sandwich. They're making me crazy. The sandwich. I've got to leave. I've got to leave the room. It smells too good. This weekend it was the meat. Like you can't keep. I cannot eat these things.
I'll get you a JJ's out there.
Yeah, I want to.
Who's next? So did you finish your list here?
So
someone sent me a photo of Ricky Williams, noted friend of Meadowlark Media.
Yeah.
At a pool in Austin, not to like dox Ricky Williams, but he was wearing the Apple Vision Pro and sitting at a table by himself. And Ricky Williams is my third pick.
That's a strong 4 right there.
What about me?
He's been there, done that.
Several times.
We have.
Pablo,
Rolling it.
what top 5 do you have for us?
I have the top 5 athlete weed names in sports history.
Give it to us.
OLI. Al Leiter.
Stugats is writing it down.
Number 5, LeGarrette Blount.
Strong if that's number 5.
Okay.
Number 4, John Danks.
Oh, wow. Really good.
That is good.
White Sox lefty.
Yeah. Thank you, Pablo.
Lefty.
Still a White
Number
Sox,
3.
I think he was a righty.
I think he was. There might have been another Danks actually.
I think Danks. The Danks you're talking about is a righty, I believe.
A reliever, right?
No, the Danks he's talking about is a lefty. John Danks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? Jeremy, tell me who I'm thinking of.
Bobby Jenks.
There it is. Bobby Jenks.
Bobby
That's what
Jenks.
Also a White Sox. Closer.
Yes.
Probably also enjoys weed. Though,
That's who I was thinking
probably
of.
based on
does.
various.
Thank you for telling me who I was thinking of.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What are you basing that on? Just be clear.
Feels like he's a guy who enjoys a Jimmy John's every once in a while.
Fair.
You know.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
He'd be in the rotation.
No,
if
they
he
talk
wanted
about
to be.
the sandwiches. Don't sleep on Jimmy John's chips. Their chips are strong. The cookies, the chips, it's, a nice complete meal here with JJ's.
What kind of chips you got there, Chris?
Going with the little barbecue flavored chips here. Here, listen to this crunch. Solid. Number 4.
I got salt and vinegar.
We're at number 3.
Number 3.
But that sound of Chris eating those chips makes me want to hit the June Kyun Bong.
Excellent.
See what you did there.
How you spelling that, Stugotz?
B-O-N-G.
Not wrong. He's directionally correct on that as well.
Fundamentally.
Fundamentally directionally correct. Number 2, Tree Rollins.
Excellent. Staple on my list.
I feel like we've hit all the ones. Like, what could number 1 be?
Number 1, J.R. Smith.
Yep.
Checks out.
No Manute Bowl or Bowl, huh?
Pablo, any thoughts on the Luca piece that just dropped by Tim McMahon?
Yeah, I mean, so I just scarfed down like so many Jimmy John's barbecue chips. This like 5,000 word Tim McMahon piece. Tim is incredibly plugged in to this team over at ESPN. He just tells the story of how there is so much more to why this has fallen apart. A lot of it having to do with the medical staff. A lot of it having to do with Nico Harrison installing his own people who are in charge now of the bodies of these players, breaking the trust of Dirk Nowitzki and this guy Casey Smith, who is like the NBA's highly regarded medical trainer, one of the best in the league, the guy in Dallas. It just seems like when it comes to a coalition, you might even say, that you need when you make a trade like this. Nico Harrison doesn't have it. And it's just incredible Palace intrigue, man. All around like injuries, all around Dirk and Luka basically in communication about why they shouldn't trust this guy. And it is something that you don't want to read if you're a fan of the Dallas Mavericks, who just traded for Anthony Davis, whose body, you may have heard, is in need of medical attention. Not a great thing to know that your medical staff is internally feuding, and also you messed up the worst transaction in the history of sports. Not great.
Zaslow,
Not great.
I saw over many years the what morning radio did to you.
What did it do?
It
aged you.
Yeah, it aged you a great deal. Pablo last week had to do a week. He starred on morning television. I want to ask him in a second about Pete Hegseth's general awful around Jackie Robinson and all things at DEI, but can you give Pablo some words of advice on what mornings might do to him?
Oh my God, Pablo, like you have a choice whether or not to do mornings. I would tell you, don't do evenings along with it, because I did evenings into mornings for 7 consecutive years. That was troublesome. I used to have a nice head of hair, all right, and now I have no hair on this beautiful head. And the little hair that I do have is very gray, all right? Don't work nights if you're going to do mornings. That's really the best advice I can give.
I have Zaz like Noah Wiley in the pit, like just that. But then at the end of his shift, he's lost all of his hair due to stress.
Good show, by the way. I watched that
Great
last
show.
week. Good show.
What do you have for me most recently on Hegseth?
Just that they're the Dallas Mavericks, the Defense Department of the United States of the U.S. government. Every news story that involves, oh, by the way, they just cleaned house. They just fired like his entire cabinet over at DOD, followed by, oh, by the way, he's also been on a separate signal chat with his brother and his wife and his personal attorney on his personal cell phone, which he's talking about yet more airstrikes. All of it just makes me think of how his only defense for any of this so far, in writing at least, has been to reply to like the @Democrats Twitter account talking about how the reason that you're against me is because you're in favor of DEI and DEI is dead at the Department of Defense. And all I can think about is how there is no greater example of truly unqualified incompetence and overall fraudulence than this guy. This guy is the ultimate affirmative action hire. He is the guy that they hired because they wanted to put a literal Fox News weekend host up there, and has proven in 3 months that he is totally unqualified for this job. Like, the next time you hear anybody in this administration yell about DEI, and by the way, I'm not saying that DEI didn't have its excesses, didn't have its own mistakes when it came to what it became by 2025, but the next time you hear anybody from this administration tell you about DEI, just know that they should be looking into a goddamn mirror and seeing the face of Pete Hegseth, who has stepped on a series of rakes that is unprecedented, truly unprecedented when it comes to the American military and how the Department of Defense has been run. It is unbelievable. And it would be hilarious if it wasn't also the thing trying to keep all of us literally alive.
All right. Excellent dismount. Good talking to you. Thanks for all your time and all your hard work on Pablo Torre Finds Out. It is it really is. It deserves all the awards that it gets. Thank you, Pablo. Good seeing you. Good talking to you.
I'd like a sandwich next, though.
They're really good,
So
man.
good.
I'm going a little bit crazy here, looking at this one, smelling this one. I wanted to ask you before we got out of here for this segment, Stugatz. I saw on Apple Plus TV a documentary about the World Series last year.
When your internet was working. Yes.
Yes. Good call. Yes.
Last week.
It was last week, back during really my glory days of internet.
Better times.
Yes. The weekend, it was a calamity. But
it was gangster.
I did see last week that there is an Apple Plus documentary on the Dodgers winning the World Series last year. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, Apple has a ton of options on what it can make, and it makes some really prestige television, and it can choose whatever it wants with all of the money in the world, and it's choosing some giant brands, right? 10-part series on the Patriots, Magic Johnson, like just big things. So they do the World Series because they've got their big Friday package, and it is executive produced by Derek Jeter. And so I'm wondering how that felt, taking that money for Jeter, celebrating the Dodger championship over his Yankees that had a just giant explosion in the World Series. Aaron Judge drops a fly ball, and now you've agreed to executive produce a series in which you're going to celebrate eternally the Dodgers beating your franchise when you're the greatest of rivals that there is in that sport.
Were Yankee fans upset with him? They had to be.
Well,
That's 20 shares for Boomer and Gio.
I don't know whether they're upset with him. I'm just asking the rest of you. Derek Jeter clearly made a deal with Apple before that series, and his name is executive producer on Watch the Dodgers. Hey, here's Freddie Freeman. Oh my God, the most heartbreaking home run Yankee fans have ever felt. Executive produced by Derek Jeter.
Grand slam.
No? Somebody want to ask him about that? Does he need the money after ripping us off down here?
Folks, listen up. They're here and they're hot. Get ready because Jimmy John's is turning up the heat. After years of perfecting the cold sandwich, toasted sandwiches are finally here. Try one of their 3 all-new toasted creations. The Toasted Chicken Bacon Ranch, all-natural chicken, creamy home-style ranch, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, fresh veggies, all on a perfectly toasted French bread. Good God, does that sound delicious? Or the Toasted Roast Beef and Cheddar, premium roast beef, melty cheddar, creamy horseradish sauce, crispy fried onions, fresh veggies, golden toasted French bread. It just keeps getting better. And the Toasted Ultimate Italian, salami, capicola, smoked ham, applewood smoked bacon, melted provolone, shredded Parmesan, fresh veggies toasted to perfection. Or take your favorite Jimmy John classics like the number 9 Italian Nightclub or the number 11 Country Club and get them toasted. Order now at jimmyjohns.com, on the Jimmy John's app, or stop by your local Jimmy John's today.
It's the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite, and for many of those 50 years, they've been partnered up with the Dan Le Batard Show, back to our terrestrial radio days, all throughout national syndication, Pirate Face, where we are now. So grateful for that partnership because you guys know, we believe it. It's a beer for people who love their beer, and hopefully our audience loves their beer enough to always trust Miller Lite, like I do. From game night parties with friends or a special anniversary, like 20 years together on air, celebrating important occasions means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer since 1975. It's Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. Simply put, it just hits different because of those simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color. Oh, and that white can. Do I love that white can? 96 calories and just 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Miller time is always a good time. Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.